Hello, everybody. My name's Isaiah, and happy 2022 to everyone. It's been a while since my last video. Now, today I just wanted to look at something scary. So, I'm looking at Jeff Sokol here, and he's taking some medication apparently to help him digest the pizza he's about to eat. And in just a moment, something kind of scary is going to happen, and what it is he's going to hear something in the back room. Now, there aren't many situations where the predators are alerted to the police or Chris or someone else in the back rooms. One situation I can think of would be Maurice Wallen, the doctor. But his is a bit different. Like, he actually had to walk in to find a towel for his spilt drink, and he actually walked into the camera crew and saw them. But there aren't really many cases I can imagine, and I'm not an encyclopedia or anything for TCAP, but if there is one, let me know. But this one, I missed this. I don't think I ever watched the uncut footage for this predator, so I wasn't aware of it, but I'll show you what happens. So he's sitting here, having his tablet, in a completely new, unknown house. This whole time he's been trying to gauge, how comfortable is the decoy, her name being Bailey, with the situation that's about to take place. And it's really evident, as you've probably watched it many times, Bailey's uncomfortable. The actress herself is uncomfortable, and Jeff understands that. And if Jeff had if he had a glimpse of humanity in him, he would just say, look, you're uncomfortable, I should leave. But of course, he's a predator, he's a dirty bastard, and he's in the house. So anyway, I want to watch the scary thing. So have a listen to what Jeffrey hears right now.
What have you been doing all day?
I'm just hanging out, watching TV, Netflix and stuff.
So it's kind of like a suit shoe skidding along like a nice varnished wooden floor. So it's like a bump, a step, and then a skid. So I'll go back and listen very closely.
Out, watching TV, Netflix and stuff.
And look at his face. See, his face is pretty neutral, but you can tell he's heard something. He doesn't know what it is. Now, how would you react in this situation? So, God forbid this would ever happen. I'm in this situation right now. I hear something. Now, someone walking around sneakily in a dark room off to the left of me. It's kind of a creepy room, actually. Someone's in there. Now, it could be the father. It could be her friends having a slumber party. It could be like another family member. Like, what are the worst cases? Obviously, like a parent, the police, her big brother's friend's going to beat you up. There's lots of different really bad situations it could be. But the worst situation, the worst person in that room in the whole world is Chris Hansen. That is the one person you would not want to be in that room. And if he's a TCAPist, he's watched TCAP before, he's probably thinking, oh, this is maybe a sting. Look, as long as Chris Hansen's not there, it'll be fine. Look, if I go to jail, it's fine. But if it's online, everyone sees it, I become a meme. That's really bad. So he's sitting there, and let's hear it again. And I just love Bailey's face here, like, because she knows he heard it, and she's got to somehow talk her way out of this. He could lunge across the table and grab her by the throat and say, "Hey, what the fuck what are you doing setting me up? Is someone in there? Who's in there?" So it's dangerous for her. This whole situation is dangerous, but a sound coming from the back room, alerting Jeffrey to something's up, could spark some type of aggressive response from him. So that's why I think it is a scary situation for Bailey, and her terror in her face, you can see for a moment, is definitely something that's reasonable to assume.
Watching TV, Netflix and stuff.
There's the sound. There's a few squeaks that are famous in Teacup. I know Walter Babst, the teacher, he's got a famous chair squeak too. But this is a bit different.
What's that?
I have no idea.
What's that? No idea. So it's actually kind of creepy. If this was a real interaction between a real child and Jeffrey, now Jeff's got to kind of step up here and defend her. So he's probably, if he thinks this is real, it's not a sting. Obviously, it's in his back of his mind, but he's got to think now, I'm dealing with an intruder. I've come here. I've got an inflammatory bowel. I'm now in a situation where I've got to defend this child from an intruder. So he might be thinking about that. Like maybe he's thinking some kind of monsters back in there. You'd rather that though than Chris Hansen. But let's see what happens.
Do you want to go check?
Somebody here.
No.
So he kind of squints and furrows his brows. He's like, is someone here? And she's like, no. And he's probably like, then what's going on? Maybe there's a dog. A dog kind of is doing something. But who knows what's going on? You see a terrible posture. You think like you're trying to impress. I know he's not impressing an adult. Like if I went on a date with a adult woman, I'd try and sit up straight, have good posture. But this guy just does not care. He's like slouching over, leaning on his gut, his inflamed gut. You'd think he'd try and... I mean, it's not a very comfortable chair, but geez, the years of stress on the back, and he did insurance or something, I think. It's not good. That's why you got to put your shoulders back, do stretches, roll your back out, things like that.
What kind of pizza we have tonight? Who's this?
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and worst nightmare. Now, I don't think he knows who Chris Hansen is, because if that was me, I would fall off my chair and I'd probably just wake up at the police station and pass out. But yeah, obviously he has no idea what's going on. Straight away, you'd have to assume police, law enforcement. But he's pretty arrogant about it. Like, who's this? What's going on? Why are you here? Why is Chris here? Why are you here, mate? You're at a 13-year-old's house, a stranger. And as a stranger in this house, you're calling out Chris? I mean, you'd assume he's the father or at least the cop, but just that arrogant tone. I think it's just a response that's completely involuntary. He's just completely in shock now. He's expected to keep his social skills to a level of 13 years old, and now that an adult's come in, so he's got to try and adjust back up to a normal social standard.
I'll get to that in a minute. Who are you? Who are you? You tell me first.
And he's blushing a bit there. He's got that arrogant smirk on him. I think deep down he's thinking, look, thank God the cops came out now. What dumbasses, I haven't done anything. And in the interrogation, he really does believe that soliciting a minor for sex online and going there isn't a crime. He's not aware of it. To be completely honest, when I used to first watch Teacup, I thought that a lot of the predators might not get in trouble with really good lawyers and things. But even if you've got a really good lawyer, soliciting a minor for sex, felony, especially sending nude pictures, it's really easy to convict these guys. So he might be smirking and saying, haha, what an idiot. He's come out way too early. Nothing's happened. I'm fine here. I'm in the clear.
You're Jeff, right?
Yeah,
And what are you doing here tonight, Jeff?
hanging out.
Hanging out with whom?
With her.
Who's her?
I want to know who you are.
I want to know a little bit more about you first.
Can I eat first?
Sure, go ahead.
How can you eat in a situation like that? not only is this guy in a severe state of anxiety, shock likely, trying to process everything, you've got your sympathetic nervous system pumping out hormones to your brain as you try and solve this situation. The last thing you'd want to do is digest any food or eat any food. But in addition to that, he's also got this inflammatory bowel syndrome. So all these factors against him, you would think he wouldn't want to eat. But maybe he really is that hungry, and it is really, really good pizza. So that could be a reason.
Tell me who you are, because, I didn't know there would be other people here. Well, what did you expect to happen?
Or maybe it's a party or something. Maybe this is another guy who's talking to Bailey online, and there's going to be a bit of competition here.
Didn't have any expectations.
No expectations whatsoever.
No.
Bet you this is really loud. I'll turn it down a bit.
So you drove 2.5 hours
Sure did.
from Boston
Who are you?
to come here
Are you her dad?
to meet a young girl.
Are you her
I
dad?
will get to that in a minute. Go ahead.
Well, I haven't done anything wrong.
That's what I was trying to get at. He just doesn't think he's done anything wrong. He wishes this was the dad.
How old are you?
What does it matter?
I'd like to know.
I haven't done anything wrong.
So
Coming to
cocky.
meet somebody?
He's so cocky about it. Coming to meet somebody. Like such a general way to describe what's happening. Yeah, I'm existing in a space right now. You could rob a bank, right? And the police say, hands up. It's like, what? I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm just existing in this space right now. Yeah, but you're holding money bags and you've just robbed the bank. You've left the bank. You're wearing a balaclava. You're covered in blood. Yeah, but right now, I'm just, in general terms, I'm just standing. So what am I doing wrong? Yeah, he's not doing wrong anything right now by just sitting down in a room with meeting someone. But when you add more context, 13-year-old, a chat soliciting sex from a minor, all these factors, marriage, talking about all this sick stuff, and then meeting, bringing the stuff you said, showing intent, it all adds up. But I won't get too much into this guy. Hey Jeffrey, if you're watching, I just really want to, I just love how scary this is. Like, it's such a scary room. Like, what's in there? He's probably thinking that was the longest 2 seconds of his life, and a horrific 2 seconds. Like, who's in there? Is she going to walk in there and come out and say, oh, the laundry is just, the washing machine's doing washing and the machine moved and it skidded. Oh, great. Oh, it's the dog. Oh, great. Oh, I brought friends over. This is my friend. And he's like, wow, we're having a great party tonight. That whole moment would have been just a hell. Let's listen to it again.
I'm just hanging out, watching TV, Netflix and stuff.
What's that?
And he kind of whispers too. He whispers potentially because he doesn't want that person in the other room to hear, maybe, if it is an intruder. Like, who's there? Like, who do you think's there? It's just so funny. Oh, I love this. Anyway, I was just watching Teacup and I just wanted to talk about this, but hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time.